4th. Call in order. The first order of business will be roll call this morning.
Chair Charles Shear.
Here.
Mary Karam.
Here.
Susan Arthur.
Here.
Spence Redwine.
Here.
Mike Davis.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay. Just for a little bit of housekeeping here this morning, the Planning and Zoning Commission is a recommending body, so decisions that we make here today, with the exception of site plans and plats, which are final, will be passed on to the City Council for a final approval on their meeting, which will be held the first week of December, the 8th. Okay, there we go. We're going to give you the opportunity to come to the lectern to speak this morning, either for or against a particular case. Ask that you would keep your comments to within a 3-minute time span. And when you come to the lectern, we ask that you would give us your name and address for the record. And that being said, we are going to move on to our items for consideration. First item, then being 4A, would be the hold a discussion and take action on the minutes from the November 10th meeting. Any errors, omissions, additions? Seeing none, the chair will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the minutes.
I have a motion.
I'll second.
I have a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And none, motion carries. Item 3B, we're going to hold a report, a discussion, and take action on the 2021 meeting dates for the P&Z. Mr. Medina?
Morning, everyone. It's good to see you all again. So this item here is just a calendar of proposed dates for the upcoming year, 2021. We went ahead and chose to omit meeting a second time in November and a second time in December because of the holidays. Present for any questions that you may have, we recommend approval.
Any questions, staff? Everybody okay with those? Of course, I'm sure that those are, they can change. There could be a case where we don't have to have a meeting on the fourth Tuesday, so that's subject to change. Everybody okay with that? Do we need a motion vote on that bill, or is that just gonna be?
Yeah, you need a motion on that, an action.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the meeting dates for calendar year 2021.
I'll move to approve the calendar dates as stated.
Okay? Motion with a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, opposed? None, motion carries. Let's move on to items 5A. Mr. Medina.
This is item 5A. Receive a report, hold a discussion, and make a recommendation on a request for approval of a rezone of 410 South Myrick, Denison, Texas, from local retail so that the entire property is zoned multifamily 1. Case number 2020-119Z. The 2018 comprehensive plan shows this area to be developed as a residential neighborhood, and city staff recommends approval. This is the subject property here, just 1 block west of Munson Park. That's Myrick running north to south, and Morgan east to west. I'm sorry, not Munson Park, Forest Park. This is the current zoning of the property. I'm going to move this forward because I'm echoing and I could hear myself. There we go. So this is the subject property here, outlined in yellow. Your orange zoning is already zoned multifamily. This pink is local retail. While we do want to try and keep retail along Myrick, the area is predominantly developed north to the east and to the west as residential. While there is a vacant retail or commercial empty building to the south, we do feel that rezoning this to multifamily 1 would be a good land use. The next item, the applicant's proposing to construct a quadplex, so this would help set them up for that development. They would need a CUP for a quadplex, but this would be the first step. I believe it's 2017 when the property was platted. As you can see, it looks like 2 lots here, but we have an approved plat that was filed with the county creating 1 contiguous lot. Should be plenty enough room for quadplex development. As a reminder, this item here is just for the zoning of the subject property, but I wanted to also show you the proposed quadplex Staff met with the applicant and helped them revise the layout a little bit to be more traffic friendly, vehicular traffic friendly. It being on Myrick, potentially a little bit busier street than some of the neighborhood streets. We asked them to relocate the parking to the side, which would be on Myrick, do a little bit more tree preservation and some more landscaping to kind of dress it up a little bit. And we can get into those details of the actual quadplex on the next item. I'm present for any questions that you may have, and we do recommend approval of the rezone.
Any questions of staff? Okay, thank you, sir. Anyone here to speak in favor of this request?
Yes, I'm Joseph Mim. My address is 1721 South Myrick Avenue, and I'm the owner and developer of this property here. Like Bill said, I've had it for a few years, and we had it replatted a few years ago. And I thought it was all multifamily, but now we need to go ahead and get it designed as all multifamily so I can do it a quadplex like he's spoken. And I don't know if I need to talk about the quadplex now or wait till the next item or wait. Go ahead, okay. Or you want me to?
Basically looking at the zoning on this case, so we can hold off on the
Okay.
plans till the conditional use permit.
Okay. But yeah, that's really it. I mean, like he said, there's a lot of multifamily in that area. Kitty cornered from there and right around the corner on Crawford, there's multiple multifamily units in that area. So I do believe it'd be a good area for it, and it's by the park and grocery stores and everything like that. So that's really all right now. So.
Any questions of the speaker? Thank you. Anyone else here to speak in favor of this request? Anyone here to speak in opposition? Okay, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and we'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the request for a conditional use permit to construct and operate a quadplex at the subject property pending final legal review.
So that's the motion for the next item. So this
Oh,
one is
did I-
just the
did I
That's
get
rezone.
ahead of
just for the
myself?
zoning, that's for the, yeah, that's.
Somebody else is gonna have to bail me out. I'm not on the right page.
Okay, I'll move to recommend approval of the ordinance
Oh.
to change the zoning of the subject property from local retail so that the entire property is zoned multifamily one.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Davis, and then a second from Mary. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Item 4B, or 5B, excuse me.
This is item 5B. Receive report, hold a discussion, conduct a public hearing, and make a recommendation on a request for approval of a CUP for a quadplex located at 410 South Myrick, Denison, Texas, case 2020-120 CUP. So as mentioned previously, staff met with the applicant on a proposed quadplex. This is the subject property here. That's the current zoning. Of course, pending city council approval, it'll be officially rezoned to multifamily 1. Here is a street view of the property taken from Google. So, like I said in the previous item, though it looks to be one lot, it's really just a double lot. It's pretty wide, plenty enough room for the development there. The applicant's also proposing to preserve some of the trees to the rear, which is always appreciated. That's another exhibit of the plat that was approved and filed. And again, here is the site layout with parking along Morgan. You'd have concrete walkway or sidewalk going up to the front of each duplex. Each unit. Each unit will also be fenced in and have their own separate backyard. This is the proposed layout. The applicant also made a few changes on the front facade whenever we requested to do some changes to kind of break up the front facade a little bit. That included different siding for the front porch, as well as some shutters and additional windows as well, and the kind of placement of doors, just to help break up some of the look. So again, I'm present for any questions that you may have, and we recommend approval.
Questions of staff? Okay. Anyone here to speak in favor? Joe?
Joseph Mim, 1721 South Myrick Avenue. Like Bill said, I'm gonna preserve a couple of the trees on the property. There's a ginkgo biloba tree in the front that we're gonna keep, and then also a nice pecan tree in the back we'll try to keep. We're gonna redo the sidewalk. As you see, there is a existing sidewalk on Myrick there. We'll redo all that and have a Myrick along Morgan as well, along with parking spaces, 2 for each unit. Each unit will consist of 1,100 square feet with 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms each. I'll be using a 40-year shingle roof, hardy lap siding, cedar posts on front, and cedar shutters, and fence in the backyard of each unit. All setbacks, there's plenty of room for all the setbacks per code. The lot is a 100 by 150 lot, so there's plenty of room for parking and fenced in area as well. So, I don't know if y'all have any questions or.
What are the spaces behind? I didn't catch that.
The parking spaces will be located on Morgan Street. There'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 parking spaces. And then in the backyard, there'll be a 6-foot privacy fence.
I guess that's the part.
Is it? Okay.
Each fenced yard will be about how large?
It will be 27.5 feet wide by 41 feet.
Nice.
So a nice size backyard. And they'll have front and back porches on each one. Thank you.
Anyone else here to speak in favor of this request? Anyone here opposed? All right, seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing, and the chair will entertain a motion.
Now I will approve the request for a conditional use permit to construct and operate a quadplex at the subject property pending final legal review.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. And I would like to say that Joe met with Bill and I to discuss this project. There were some things that we had a few concerns on, and he was more than willing to compromise and to meet our needs. So we appreciate that, Joe. Good luck. Thanks, guys. Item 5C.
See you. All right, this is item 5C. As with the previous item, the previous 2 items, 5C and 5D are related. We'll focus on 5C and get into D in a second. So this item, receive a report, hold a discussion, conduct a public hearing, and make a recommendation on amendments to the zoning ordinance. This is chapter 28, updating section 28.49, use regulations, as well as section 28.63.1, definitions, regarding amusement commercial indoor and amusement commercial outdoor facilities. The proposed changes, they do a couple of things. The 2 big things, or the 2 main focuses, is to allow for indoor and outdoor amusement venues to operate with a conditional use permit within our central area. Currently, they are not permitted to operate within our central area with a CUP or by right. We think that's kind of a flaw or a weakness in our downtown as we're continuing to develop or revitalize our downtown and new businesses are coming. For example, last time we had a new bar opening up on Main Street. Now we have a new business called the Horse's Axe wanting to operate downtown as well, kind of an axe throwing venue. So we're starting to attract a lot of attention, and we want to make sure that when we're getting this attention and we're getting these folks knocking on our door, that our code at least has a pathway forward for either non-traditional or non-conventional or different type of entertainment activities. And axe throwing definitely falls into that category. So that's my second bullet point. So we recommend approval. This is the use table as it exists currently. As you can see, you have amusement services indoors and outdoors highlighted in blue. And I went ahead and dropped a CA to represent central area in yellow. As you can see, there's nothing there, so there's no real clear pathway forward. Additionally, what also prompted this change is we had the applicant for the Horses Axe, the axe throwing venue, come through. They're proposing to sell beer and wine. So because there was no clear path in our ordinance, our team decided, well, they're a bar. That's the way we can get them through with a CUP, is call them a bar. Our legal team said you can't do that. So instead, the clean and proper way to do it is to amend the ordinance. This is what we're proposing. Adding a C for central area for indoor and outdoor amusement. And that conditional use permit will still allow us to bring these projects through this board, through city council, provide feedback, and a little bit more scrutiny, really understand traffic flow, parking situation, noise, things of that sort. The other addition is what you see outlined in red. So amusement commercial with or without alcohol sales. We just took our current ordinance, added the use of alcohol sales, with or without, of course. Clearly defined that you need a CUP, threw an axe throwing in there as one of the potential examples, but also made it clear that we can apply this to other future entertainment businesses, amusement services that come through. We did the same thing with outdoor amusement. Now, the outdoor amusement, we're probably going to take a closer look at lighting and sound and noise. But for indoor, I think we can that noise and light should be confined to the structure. The CUP process lets us look at that. So that's why we're recommending a CUP for both of these uses. So I'm present for any questions that you may have, and we recommend approval.
Questions, staff? Anyone here to speak in favor of this request? Okay. Morning. Good morning.
My name is Mike Roberts. Well, it is echoey up here. So I'm the owner of the Horses Axe, and I think having some entertainment down here in the district would be really great, not just for our business, but for other businesses in the future. It adds something, it's a draw. So I don't know if you're familiar with axe throwing, but it's really a destination type activity. A lot of axe throwing venues are located in warehouse districts. And to have something in a downtown area that people will drive to, I think would be great. Not to mention there's going to be all kinds of other activity type businesses that want to come into the area. And to have that available, I think with a CUP would be beneficial. It'll make it easier for someone to figure out what they can do down here. Yeah. All right, thanks.
Any questions? Any questions of our speaker? Okay. Anybody else here to speak in favor? Anyone here to speak in opposition? Okay. We'll close the public hearing. Any discussion among the commission before we proceed with the vote on this?
I just have a question in the general ordinance situation. I see that the axe throwing is the only thing. I remember years ago that an upscale pool hall was interested in coming here, and the request was denied. Can you speak to the possibilities of things that are not specifically listed in here?
Sure. So with a pool hall or something of that sort, there's a separate category and a separate use for billiards hall. So if there's already an existing category, we would, of course, put them in there. But for something based on, that we think aligns with this definition, that's more entertainment or activities that doesn't have a separate use, we would do two things. We would either classify them as amusement indoor or outdoor, or if we deem it's warranted, propose an update to the ordinance and say, this type of use is totally, completely new, doesn't fit in this category. We need a separate approach with separate standards.
Bill, in this particular use, there will be no food sales?
In indoor, in this definition, it doesn't mention it. However, we would deem that to be ancillary use, kind of if you needed to sell additional food, if the applicant wanted to sell burgers or chicken or something like that, as long as it was okay with the building department and it didn't really overtake their use, I think it'd be fine. A restaurant would be permitted in central area, so I don't think it would have any conflict with the current zoning ordinance.
In my opinion, I think the CUP is imperative for us to keep control of what goes on downtown on Main Street. Obviously, the plan for Main Street is to redevelop, and I've said all along that these kind of businesses are gonna be important for that redevelopment, and I agree 100% it's a destination point for us. But what we don't want is, a place where, and I'm certainly not saying that that's what you're operating, okay, so please don't take it that way. But what we don't want is a business that is just selling alcohol. There's no food involved, it's a bar, and to me, it would set the wrong tone for it being an entertainment district. The whole point is entertainment district, that's so families can come down and enjoy it. If you've got a bunch of just bars that, people are just going there to drink and nothing else, then, so I think that having the CUP, we can control those operations don't exist hopefully, but if an operation does turn from being an entertainment type business more to a bar, then we have leverage, I think. So I think the CUP is absolutely a necessity for the new up-and-coming businesses that we'll have here.
Great.
Okay, anything else? Any other questions, guys? Okay, I did close that public hearing, didn't I? Did I close the public hearing yet? If I didn't, I just closed it. All right, so I will entertain a motion on item 5C.
Move to recommend approval of the proposed amendments to the Denison Municipal Code, Chapter 28.
Have a motion with a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, none. Motion carries. Item 5D.
All right, this is item 5D. Receive report, hold a discussion, conduct a public hearing, and make a recommendation on a request for approval for a conditional use permit for indoor amusement venue with alcohol sales for the Horses Axe located at 131 West Main, case number 2020-117 CUP. So the applicant's pursuing a conditional use permit to operate an axe throwing venue deemed to be amusement commercial indoor with alcohol sales. Of course, that definition is going to be pending final approval from City Council. Our 2018 comprehensive plan shows this area to be developed as a downtown center. City staff recommends approval. This is the subject property here outlined in yellow. That's Austin Avenue running north to south and Main Street running east to west. This is the proposed business. I have a couple of slides showing the interior and kind of some of the work that they've been approved from the Historic Preservation Board. They recently received approval to reopen up the windows along Main Street and Austin Avenue. There are also windows on the lower facade that they'll be reopening, as well as a door which was sealed up. So they're really gonna bring a bunch of light, revitalize this particular building. There's burglar bars along the front Main Street side because it used to be a pawn shop. Applicants taken those off. In your packet, you should also see plans. They're intending to renovate lofts all along the top, so get some more residential units in here. They're currently zoned for that in the central area. This is a rough rendering or preliminary rendering of the inside. As you can see on the near the orange wall there, that's where the axe throwing lanes will be, and you have your bar on the opposite side. So the hours of operations are located in here, and the applicant in their narrative, which is also should be attached, they mention or they verify that they will not be selling hard liquor. It's just beer and wine. Their point of sale system also indicates or states that drinks will be limited to, I believe it's 2 drinks per hour if they're throwing axes. So they can monitor that to make, and that I think that's a mechanism to kind of get back at what you were talking about, Charlie, to where it doesn't kind of steamroll into a bar, to
Right.
kind of get a hold on that. So that's basically it. Yeah, I just wanted to say that we strongly commend the applicant in pursuing a new type of business like this in our downtown, especially with everything going on with COVID, various closures and stuff. So we think that's great that they're looking at revitalizing our building in our downtown. And we think that this use is appropriate for our entertainment district. We recommend approval, and I'm present for any questions you may have, and the applicant is here.
I have just one question. Well, I guess, I don't know if this is applicant or you, but I have a little bit of a concern for that rear entrance. Will that be public use, or is that for, what is the use of the door on Austin Street? That sidewalk's kind of narrow is what I'm asking.
Public. And the sidewalk is actually pretty wide. I think it's 5 feet deep. And when the street is torn up in the front, I think we're going to need another entrance over there on the side in order for people to get into the building safely.
So that's the staff part of the question, is that don't remember exactly what the new sidewalk's gonna look like after but if you've done walking, as I used to, around Main Street, the way the 18-wheelers come zipping down Austin Street, you don't want somebody coming out that door a little bit tipsy, wouldn't be good.
So the door also will be recessed into the building.
Okay,
So the door won't open onto the
so
sidewalk.
it's not open flush with the building.
Right. And we've got a floor plan. I don't know if this door opens that or not, but it's recessed in about 4 or 5 feet.
Yeah.
So the door opens into, or I should say out, into the recess under the sidewalk, so the sidewalk is completely open.
Good.
So it's,
He's gonna have to have that door there for fire exit,
Yes.
the occupancy load, so I think it's
But
gonna have to
if it's not the main entrance, it's probably wouldn't be a problem.
And there's also a back double door on the alley that won't be used as an entrance, but it will also
Okay.
be a fire.
Fire exit.
loading and unloading. Anybody else? Only question I've got is, at some point in time, I'm sure I'm gonna have to explain what the horse's axe is to my granddaughter. So, we'll see how that goes.
Those are fun.
All right.
It's fun.
I will entertain a motion.
I second.
Motion with a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Item 5E. Thanks, sir. Good luck. Thank you.
Good job.
Item 5E, receive a report, hold a discussion, conduct a public hearing, and make a recommendation on a request to rezone 126 West Monterey Street, Denison, Texas, from local retail to two-family duplex. This area is, in our comprehensive plan, is to be developed as a neighborhood. City staff recommends approval. This is the subject property outlined in blue. The applicant approached us, basically explained that they were trying to sell the property. However, because of the zoning on it, local retail, they're having a difficult time. The property has been, let me see if I have there it is. There's a front view of the property there. It's the brown house. It's a residential structure, has been used as such for quite some time. It really should be just zoned as in a residential nature, so that way the homeowner can move forward with conducting their business as needed. The reason we're recommending two-family duplex as opposed to single-family 5 is it's completely surrounded by duplex to the east, to the north. This is the current zoning, so you can see mixed commercial and retail along Austin as it should be. However, since this is one lot removed and it's an existing house, we feel like it's appropriate for it to be duplex.
Questions, staff? Thanks, sir. Anyone here speak in favor of this request? Anybody here to speak against it? Okay. This should be pretty easy then. I'll entertain a motion. I'll close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
right, this is item 5F. Receive a report, hold a discussion, and take action on a replat of Block 4 of the Denison Improvement Company Subdivision K, more commonly known as 1830 South Park Avenue. Case number 2020-098RP for replat. The proposed plat will be called the Hawkins Couchworth Edition. It meets all city standards for replatting in the SF75 zoning district. This is a subject property outlined in yellow. It currently exists as this flag-shaped lot from previous subdivisions. That's the zoning, single-family 7.5. I know it's a little difficult to read, but it's all 7.5. And this is the proposed plat, and which is also in your packet. So the applicant is showing lots 1 through 5. Like I said, they all meet the width, depth, and area footage or requirements in our ordinance. They all have access to a public right-of-way, which in this case would be South Park Avenue. The Public Works Department verified that utilities are available. We try to move away from flag lots within the city limits as best we can, but since the property is already existing like this, whoever owns lot 1 will just have a really long driveway, and that was kind of their wish, so we felt like it was appropriate. You got to do something with that piece anyway. So we recommend approval, and I'm present for any questions that you may have. And the applicant is here as well.
I'm assuming that they're gonna take that house down?
It's my understanding that lot 2 will encompass where the house will sit. Is that correct?
Okay, so it's gonna build 2.
So we're just replatting is all we're doing.
That's my understanding.
Yeah. Any questions, staff? Thank you, Bill. David?
This is Robert, Linda Hawkins as well. They own the property currently. I am going to be purchasing lot 1. I've got a client that wants to build a house there. She's from the lake, and she had a new neighbor move in next to her, and she don't want any neighbors.
So lot one is basically, it looks like to me lot 1's gonna have access to Boy Lake.
It does. It has access to park as well. So I mean, it's a double-sided lot. I mean, it has access from park and Loy Lake.
Okay.
But she's wanting to use that lane as her entrance. She's wanting to do a gate, and that's going to be her driveway back to lot 1.
Is her house gonna face Waterloo? Is that what she's planning to do?
Her back of her house is going to face Waterloo Lake. It's on a bluff above the lake.
Right.
So basically, she wants a secluded area there. But lot 2 is their house that they currently live in as their homestead. And then, of course, it was a big tract, so they added some additional lots there, and they'll build towards park on those.
So they're gonna stay in on lot 2?
On lot 2, well, they're building a house, so they're selling lot 2.
Oh, okay.
So they're basically selling off, and they didn't want to sell just the house and.
So they're gonna sell the house in lot 2?
Right.
And then you're gonna build on 1, 3, 4, and 5?
I'm not building on 3, 4, and 5. They're gonna retain 3, 4, and 5. I'm just purchasing lot 1, and I assisted them in the replat of the property.
All right, so are they going to sell lots 3, 4, and 5?
My understanding is they're gonna sell lots 3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
Do y'all have a contract on those?
So you're gonna build on 1, you got a contract on 1, they're gonna keep the house on 2, and then 3, 4, and 5 will be left.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions for the speaker? Thank you, David.
All right. Thank you, guys.
That's it. Would you folks, anything you want to add, or? All right, anyone here to speak in opposition to this request? All right, well, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, and I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the proposed replat.
Second?
I have a motion and a second to approve it. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. Item 6, do we have anything to discuss today there? We don't? Okay. Then we can move to the adjournment. All right. We want to, on behalf of all of us here on the Planning Commission and our staff, wish everybody a very happy, safe Thanksgiving. appreciate you being here this morning. And so, since we have no other business before the P and Z, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Have a motion?
Second.
With a second. All in favor?
Aye.
We stand adjourned at 10:37.